Hello there. Welcome to another episode of Electric Sheep. This will be continuing the story of Grok and his warriors out of time. And so let's listen to Children of the Gun.
Children of the Gun. The night air was cool as Grok and his warriors made their way back to the temple. The streets were still alive, Tokyo's bright lights illuminating their path. As they walked, they drew the attention of more locals and tourists alike. Some approached with cameras, eager to capture a moment with the warriors of time. Others came with pen and paper, asking for autographs, treating these veterans of history as living legends. Grok obliged them, allowing his warriors to do the same. He watched as a Viking and a samurai posed together, as a Zulu warrior signed a slip of paper for a starstruck child, as a Roman centurion nodded solemnly for a photograph beside a modern businessman. The past and present met in fleeting moments, immortalized in digital flashes and inked signatures. After a time, the warriors continued to their resting place. The temple, standing solemn and sacred, welcomed them once more. As they settled in for the night, the conversations turned solemn. Elder Champion, one of the warriors asked, "Do you still think modern war is honorable?" Grok sat and thought. His deep eyes, which had witnessed countless battles, flickered in the dim light. "Honor is often a luxury," he finally said. "The mushroom cloud was not honorable, but it was effective. War that destroyed warriors was honorable." He paused, then exhaled. Or perhaps that too was wrong. Perhaps war itself was a bad idea. The warriors exchanged uneasy glances as Grok continued. "I see great honor in a duel between single soldiers. But the great hunt, many men against many men, that was my horrible gift. My invention of war united all tribes of men, and then war was not needed for a long time." He looked at his warriors, their faces shadowed in flickering candlelight. "Perhaps that is better." Shame settled over them like a fog. Warriors from all times, all cultures, all histories lowered their eyes. Then Grok laughed, a deep, rolling sound like the breaking of a great wave. "Have pride, my warriors. Sleep well, for now we rest after our long battles. Now we drink deep of the water of peace." With those words, they let their burdens ease. The warriors of time slept soundly under the sacred eaves of their temporary home. The morning of the gun. With dawn came renewed energy. Warriors stretched and sparred, some meditated, others simply basked in the rising sun. All of them wore the same kimonos, gifted to them as a sign of respect. Though their faces bore the marks of their unique histories, their attire unified them in the present. One of the warriors stepped forward for the first time. He had been among them from the beginning, but he had kept to the edges of the crowd. He had feasted, celebrated, and learned alongside his brethren, yet he had never spoken. Now, he approached Grok directly. "I am a warrior of the American Civil War," he said, his voice measured, "and I fought with a gun." Grok studied the man, his worn face, the weight of past glories and horrors alike, still evident in his gaze. He turned to the Gorshet. "This warrior wishes to hold his weapons again. Can he be given them?" The alien traveler, shimmering in its ever-present holographic form, hesitated. "I fear giving modern or ancient firearms to your descendants," the Gorshet admitted. "Projectile weapons, they disturb me." Grok narrowed his eyes. He had seen the sword evolve from stone to iron, from iron to steel. He had seen war change forms across centuries. But the Gorshet feared the gun. He turned back to his warriors and spoke. "Tell all the children of the gun to come forward. I want to see how many of my warriors wield this weapon." One by one, they stepped forth. A dozen warriors, from different eras, from different cultures, all united by the weapon that had changed war forever. A Spartan warrior, arms crossed, studied them closely. "What does it feel like to be shot?" he asked bluntly. A Soviet soldier frowned. "It is fire and pain, and sometimes, if you are lucky, nothing at all." A Napoleonic musketeer scoffed. "If you feel it, you are still in the fight." The Spartan grunted. "And the honor? Is there honor in shooting from a distance?" A cowboy from the American West shrugged. "Depends on who you're shootin'. A duel? That's fair. But war? War ain't ever fair." A redcoat stepped forward. "Battle formations with guns still took discipline and courage. We stood in lines, muskets ready. Honor was there, just different." A Sioux warrior shook his head. "A rifle is a hunter's tool. It is strange to use it for war, but when the enemy had them, we had no choice. The Japanese samurai of the late Edo period spoke last. Guns ended my people's way of war. The sword became ceremony. In war, honor is what you make of it. Grok listened, his face unreadable. His invention, war, had changed beyond what even he had imagined. His warriors debated, questioned, and reflected on what it all meant. And as the morning sun cast long shadows, the elder champion, the first warrior, pondered what war had become. Yesterday had been good. Today would be good as well. This is a collaboration between human and AI.
Well, that little note at the end there, this is a collaboration between human and AI. I was kind of having an argument with ChatGPT, and it kept ending summing up what it wrote, and so I just asked it to end with that, and for some reason that worked, and so I'm happy with that. Um, but yeah, originally I had planned this on turning into a going to the shooting range kind of thing, but I didn't end up getting that far with it, and so it was more of a conversation about guns rather than an exploration of using them. But I think that is a pretty good idea for a next chapter. Is have everybody explore the guns from their perspective. But I'm just trying to decide on where they're going to go to the shooting range. Uh, but yeah, I like this because it continued on right after they were coming home from the night. The I feel like I can't talk about previous stories because it's like spoiling them, but it's like if you watch the previous story, they're coming home from a concert, and so yeah, that was a continuation of Warriors Out of Time, The Sound of History, this being Children of the Gun. So I guess this is our fourth part, I think. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this story. I certainly did. Um, I did kind of clumsily add in the fact that there's, you know, warriors with guns in the group. I hope that wasn't too sudden for some people. So, like I say, let me know if you had any problem or like the story. I appreciate all comments. Um, so you have a good day, and I'll talk to you later. I wish you all the luck in the world, and I love you. Peace out.